What's up, everybody? My name is Connor Way.
And I'm Whitney Thomas.
And we are two freshmen at McNeese State University.
We are also two aspiring journalists, and we're here just making this podcast for you, just to give you a little information on what's going on in America and to kind of update you on what's going on with President Trump.
Yeah. So it's very important that people our age understand that they have power. We have power.
Right.
We can vote now.
We do.
We can vote, and it's very important that we know that we control who's in office.
Right.
So with 2020 obviously coming up next year, it's very important that people know what President Trump has been doing for the last 2.5 years.
Right. So over 63 million people voted for President Trump in 2016, which of course has him in office. I can honestly say I don't think anybody, and by anybody I mean anybody, could have been prepared for half of the problems he's caused while being in office.
Jesus, yes.
I think this has to be one of our most problematic presidents.
Yes.
I
would definitely put him up there with Nixon, who obviously President Nixon was our most problematic president. He resigned in 1973. So, yeah, President Trump is very problematic, and I'm just gonna say where I got fed up with him and where I got woken up.
What's your point?
In 2017, someone died over a hate crime.
Okay.
A hate crime.
Right.
In 2017, now that was 2 years ago, but in the modern day America, that's crazy that someone died over a hate crime. Now, I'm going to elaborate more. Charlottesville may ring a bell to some of you guys. In August of 2017, there was a white supremacist, KKK, white nationalist, neo-Nazi march on the campus of the University of Virginia. And honestly, that's not where the problem is. I don't agree with anything that those people believe because I was raised Jewish, so obviously I don't agree with Nazis or racist people at all.
Right.
But they have the right to be there. They have freedom of speech just like you and I do.
Most definitely.
Where my problem was where the lady died. You know, the lady that passed away, unfortunately. She was killed because a neo-Nazi white supremacist person drove a car into a crowd of counter-protesters who were peacefully protesting. They were peacefully protesting. They had just as much right to be there as those hateful people did. Now, you may be thinking, where does President Trump come into this?
Right.
President Trump comes into this because, as most of you may know, this man is not quiet when it comes to social media. He's constantly tweeting.
He's not.
He's constantly in the spotlight.
Right.
For some reason, that day he was very silent. Very silent. And so I remember seeing tweets like, where are you, Mr. President? Where are you, Mr. President? And I wasn't going to tweet anything bad about this man because ultimately he is our president.
Is that like more of a built-up conspiracy that he had something to do with it? Or was it just so weird that...
No. The plot thickens. So the president tweeted and released a statement. It was an official statement. I believe it was a speech even.
Okay.
He said that there was fine people on both sides. Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I don't believe someone that's racist or is a neo-Nazi to be a fine person. I mean, that's hateful.
Agreed.
That's what they're known for, is spreading hate. Now, they have the right to free speech, as mentioned before, but they're not good people. And so for you to not come out and condemn that immediately, to me, that's where I was woken up by it. You know, and I was perplexed by it. I still don't understand why we have to talk about our president being a racist or a neo-Nazi conspirator or whatever. But I mean, it happened.
I think my biggest break, now mind you, that was major, but I think my biggest break that came from Trump and what really just had me at my highest was when I noticed that our president
He's
of America was tweeting on Twitter. Mind you, this is a general social app that everybody uses.
Everybody has access to.
But this guy used it, and he used it as a problematic platform.
Calling people out.
Calling people out. I think he called somebody a horse face.
A horse face? A pig?
Oh my God.
He called, there's a lady on MSNBC in the morning, her name's Minka.
Yeah.
He said that she was bleeding out of her face, bleeding out of her wherever.
You know what?
You know what he's talking about when he says her wherever.
You know who you can elaborate on? Kathy Griffin.
Kathy Griffin.
Kathy Griffin.
Kathy Griffin. This is a very, very touchy subject. Kathy Griffin in 2017 had a photo shoot
Yeah.
with a decapitated President Trump head. Now, it wasn't a real head. It was a Party City mask that was a Halloween Party City mask covered in ketchup. Now, personally, I think the joke was distasteful, but I think she had the right to express herself, and that's her humor. It's dark humor. It's not my taste, but she had the right to do it.
Right.
She wasn't threatening the life of the president. But where I got messed up is this man is supposed to be in office, dealing with real life things. People are actually dying, We're having issues with other countries, diplomacy, that type of thing.
Yeah.
This man tweeted several times about Kathy Griffin and how awful it was and how it scarred his son or whatever. I'm sorry. No, I don't play that crap. I'm sorry. This man was a birther for President Obama. There were pictures of President Obama getting lynched, Michelle Obama getting lynched,
I remember that.
their 2 daughters getting, all these things. Imagine how they felt seeing, their dad's name constantly mentioned in the press, because this man, President Trump, was calling saying their dad wasn't American. He was the president of the United States, the first black president of the United States.
Right.
How? I don't know. That's just, to me, that's touchy for me. And yes, the joke was distasteful, but she was an FBI investigation was launched on her. She had to go into hiding because she was getting so many death threats over arguably the most problematic, hateful president in the history of America. So it's not just him tweeting, and it's not just the Kathy Griffin situation.
Yeah, it's way more than that.
It's way more than that. He pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement, which America helped start, for clean air, how we're breathing, helping prevent global warming.
He's trying to undo everything that Obama did. Everything that was set in stone in 8 years, he's trying to undo it.
Undo every little bit of movement that President Obama helped create. It's almost like he's trying to undo everything.
He's damaged so many relationships with different allies.
Yeah.
And to ice the cake, he did this big bombing in Syria.
It was
and I remember it. It was so reckless. It was so reckless.
Jesus.
I just remember seeing everything on social media and seeing it on news, and I was like, how could he do that to those innocent people? How could he do that?
Yeah, all because, I just want to show who's bigger, basically. That's what he's trying to do, mine's bigger.
So what was up with this whole thing in Russia?
Oh. So, Russia. So, as most Americans know, it's not even whether it happened or whether or not it happened. Russia hacked into the 2016 election. There is no doubt about that.
Right.
No doubt about that.
Right.
And, we do have a special counsel out right now. Robert Mueller has his, special counsel put together. And they're investigating whether or not the Trump campaign had any collusion with Russia. Personally, I believe they did. I mean, if you're so innocent, why are you not stepping up? Why are you hiding? Why are you saying it's a witch hunt? If you are truly innocent, let him do his little investigation.
Right.
And it'll all go away if you're innocent.
Right.
But he's not innocent. He's not innocent. He's hiding something. I believe that Putin has something on President Trump.
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin is not, I don't think it's okay that we're flirting with Russia as much as we are, and that we're up Russia's butt like we are. Russia is a communist state. President Putin is a dictator. He's not a president. He's called a president, but he's a dictator. He kills anyone who, he has people killed if they don't agree with him. You can do the research to back that stuff up.
Right.
It's scary. Russia is not someone who we should be playing with. So the fact that Trump is up Russia's butt so much, I think that should scare people. It's not scaring people, which is terrifying me. The fact that people would rather see Democrats, people who are disagree with Trump,
right,
get persecuted than agree. They'd rather agree with Russia than Democrats. It's
so wouldn't that just bring you to your big comparison between Trump and Obama?
Well, okay. President Obama was notably hard on President Putin in Russia. And, that is ultimately, I believe, that's why President Trump has tried to undo everything Obama's done. He's the exact opposite of Obama.
Right.
He constantly is tweeting about Obama and Hillary Clinton, and it's you're the president. President Obama's gone. He can't do anything. You can do this stuff. Why are you acting like a little baby, quit mentioning Obama. Obama can't do anything. He can't help us now. As much as I wish he could, he can't.
Right.
And so take responsibility. This is your thing now. You're the president. But no, I have to tweet about crooked Hillary and Obama tried to spy on me through a microwave. Shut up and do your job. Get off Twitter. Stop eating your Big Macs. Do your job, okay? I'm just over it.
You know what? And so we done got into how problematic he is, and now I just want to kind of get into the now. So I know everybody knows about the government has shut down. I know everybody knows about the wall that's being built.
Or the lack thereof. He's trying to build a wall. He's trying to build a wall, and the Democrats don't want. And see, this is where
let me tell you. But no, I have to just say this.
Okay.
I personally, it's so unfair. The backlash that Americans are getting because the government has shut down. People are now forced to go to work without pay. He's forcing them to go to work without pay. In certain households, people may have disabilities or something. There is no first of the month check for that. You just don't know how households are being ran, and you just don't know if that money was really helping for something. You just don't know.
First of all, he shut down right before Christmas. The government shut down right before Christmas. So I imagine, I can't confirm this, I don't know, because my family doesn't work for the government. But, some people might not have been able to pay for their kids' Christmas presents.
Right.
And that is so twisted. I'm sorry, that's just, what type of, it's just aggravating. And it's actually starting to affect college kids now because I have a good friend who McNeese called her, our school called her on Tuesday evening and said that the deadline for FAFSA was moved up because of the government shutdown to Wednesday, this past Wednesday, the 15th. And if she didn't have everything approved by 3:30 in the afternoon on Wednesday, that they would void her schedule and she'd have to leave school.
You want to know?
That's just messed up.
You want to know what I really think at this point? I think it's time to just cut all the BS and I think it's just time for America to wake up as a whole.
Yeah.
He shut the government down, basically, to fund his wall, quote unquote. Now,
he shut the government down because he's throwing a big hissy fit. He's not, President Trump's not getting what he wants, so I'm going to shut the government down. We're all going to be suffering because I don't get my wall.
I'm saying as in, this is what he thinks, this is what he's wanting Americans to believe. He shut the government down, basically, to fund his wall. Now, this wall is allegedly supposed to be keeping drug dealers out, cartels, rapists, and all this other stuff, but I feel like, and this is just my conspiracy, and I'm not the only one that thinks this, guys, do your research, he's doing this as a form of New World Order. He's doing this to keep Americans inside of America because things are really getting ready to go completely left. I feel like with the government being shut down, depending on how long, there's going to be different strikes. I feel like there could possibly be riots. You just never know how far this is going to go. And I feel like he's getting prepared for that. So this wall is not for keeping drug dealers out or anything. That's what he wants Americans to believe. This is a new world order.
I saw a great tweet the other day, and it perfectly fits what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
So someone tweeted a new senator, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You may have heard of her. She's very unpopular and popular. I mean, somebody tweeted her and asked something about if this wall is a monument of hate or a monument to Trump, and she said both. And think about it. Is it a monument of hate? Because he's saying, I don't want Mexicans here or whatever. They're coming through Mexico. They're coming, to steal our jobs, and they're gonna kill us. They're rapists, drugs, all that stuff. Is it a monument for him? Because also, I think he remembers. And he knows that Robert Mueller is getting close. Trump is about to go down. That's just my personal opinion.
Agreed.
It's only a matter of time. His days are numbered. So, as last night there was a report that he had Michael Cohen lie under oath. So that's perjury. That's an impeachable offense.
Right.
And I personally think it's an awful day if the President of the United States has to be impeached. But I think that's what it's going to come to.
Listen, and this is just my whole take on it. I get prior, even in like 2018, you saw that he just did not flat out like Mexicans or Spanish people, period. I'm just being completely honest. He wants to completely get rid of them.
Oh, it was a
he
part
had, matter of fact, he had them taken out of the U.S.
Oh, yeah,
He had them. I feel like he did the whole thing with Mexicans and Spanish people. He did that as a cover-up, for one. Because he knew that building this wall would be a part of the New World Order. This is just my conspiracy. And I'm not the only one that thinks this, guys. Do your research on it. He did that as a cover-up so that when it was time for the wall to actually be built, we wouldn't look at it as odd. But really, this is just a part of the New World Order, guys. He's really doing this to keep Americans inside of America.
I mean, personally,
because he knows that all hell is getting ready to break loose.
Well, I just thought that the wall altogether was shady.
It was.
From the
It
beginning.
is.
He announced it the day that he announced he was going to run for president. I remember in June of 2015, when he was announced that he was running for president, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. And I remember 15-year-old me sitting there saying, Mexico is not about to pay for a wall. And so I just want to know, I'm just to the point where I'm over it. When did the American taxpayers become Mexico? That's all I have to say about this.
As a tie together, guys, Americans as a whole, it's time
we need to wake up.
It's time to wake up. It's time to break out of that mental enslavement. And I want to say, I don't want to put it all on just Americans as if it's just all your fault.
No.
Because I just want to kind of it's not even funny. You are being enslaved in so many ways. You're being enslaved by the foods you eat. You have to really do your research on everything, guys. Like, in certain foods that they're serving you now, and in the foods that you're eating, your pork and everything, there's like steroids in them. You notice, like, when you go to the store and you're buying chicken or you're buying like pork chops or something, it's bigger than what it's normally supposed to be. And that's because it's steroided food.
And it's also as simple as next time you're at home, and if you have an ice maker or something, like one of those ice trays, look down in the ice that you get from the tap water. You'll see a little square or a little circle in the middle of the ice cube. That's not pure water.
Or not only that,
it's not pure water.
Pure water, baby. The water was never pure from the beginning. There has been forms of, they said that if you drink the water, you get cancer, some stuff like that. It's cancerous water. They have all type of stuff in there. That water is just not good, period. So it's in your food, it's in your water. Another thing I want to touch bases on, and this is just me, this is just my personal opinion. Do your research on it. It's also in your education too, because they're not really giving you your real education. And it's beyond college, and it's beyond even getting a job in your field. For the simple fact that, like, in schools, they don't even really educate you with your real history. They're not being honest about anything. And America as a whole, and this is just my opinion, is a fraud. America's a fraud. And I can't believe we live in a country where they're feeding you fake food. You're drinking cancerous water. You're not drinking purified water. Flint still doesn't have water.
I was about to say that. Flint, Michigan still doesn't have water.
Still don't have water to this day.
Still don't have clean water.
So we're worried about building a wall, and we're taking taxes away, and there are people out there starving, and they have no water.
They don't have clean water.
They don't even have. And how long have they been out without water? For a minute now. It's been years. Like, how is America allowing that to happen?
Well, I don't want to quote it because I don't know the exact amount of time, but we're getting close to at least 5 or 6 years with these people.
Oh my God!
And that's a shame. Shame on America.
Yeah.
And that's just.
It's just a big mental enslavement, guys. It's getting old, and it's really time to break out.
So
basically,
what we're trying, the whole point of us, sitting here and talking to you guys, is we're saying wake up, because realize you have the power. You have power, and it's time to start using it.
It is.
Vote. Register to vote. The amount of people our age that don't vote, to me, is mind-boggling. We all need to register to vote, because that is the most patriotic thing you can do. So just wake up, be aware, because it's all around you. I know it's hard sometimes.
Right.
All the hate and all the, it can get annoying, but you have to wake up, and you have to pay attention.
One thing people have to know is, it's up to you to become more aware. It's up to you to put your phone down, get off social media for a couple hours, and actually watch the news and watch what's really going on. We're just not aware as much as we should be. We're not proactive on things that are really big and that's really going on in America. And Trump has it that way. The government and everybody has it that way.
And also, you know, one more thing to chime in on something that, you know, Trump created, and it can ultimately close this argument here, is the fake news situation. As two future journalists, two aspiring journalists, fake news didn't start until the orange man ran for president, basically. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. It didn't, Trump started this fake news thing. So it's very important that when you see things, don't believe everything you see. Make sure you get multiple sources before you start quoting things and posting things, because not everything you see is true. I'm not going to call a certain news station out or anybody out in particular, but just make sure you get multiple sources before you start quoting things, because I've seen people that are very close to me in my life. They'll say, oh, you know, last week there were 700 people came, they pulled 700 people through at the border. I'm like, where did you hear that? Because that's not true. It's not true. So,
all in all, guys, stay woke and be very aware and pay attention. Once again, I'm Whitney Thomas.
I'm Connor Way.
And we'll see you next time.
Go Pokes!